In this video, we're going to take a look at polygons, and particularly IXL G.4, a review of polygons. Now, before we jump in, we should review our polygon formulas. So there's 4 of them, and let's just go over the top 2, then we'll talk about the bottom 2. So across the top here, we've got interior and exterior, so if I'm inside the polygon and outside the polygon, and we have our sums, so n minus 2 times 180, n 360, n being the number of sides that I have in my polygon. Okay, and that's if I want the sum of them or if I have an irregular polygon. Okay, irregular means not all the sides and angles are equal to each other. Now, if I'm looking for one angle, particularly one angle of a regular polygon, if I see the word regular, I'm almost always down in this bottom section where I'm doing n minus, notice it's the same formula for both of them, n minus 2 times 180 and 360, but I'm just dividing by the number of sides, or the number of angles that I have, okay? So these are our formulas. Hopefully we're familiar with them at this point, but in case we're not, I would encourage you to write this down. This will be really helpful as you work through this IXL. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at IXL G4 and see what we've got going on here. All right, so let's take a look at what's going on in general, and then we'll look at a couple specific examples. So this one is going to be a review of your interior and exterior rules with polygons. So notice this one. Let's pick out some keywords, and it will kind of guide us to which formula we are going to use. Okay, so I want the sum. I see sum right here. I see interior right here. Sum and interior, that tells me that I'm doing my n minus 2 times 180. All right, so let's take a look at another example. Okay. Here's another sum interior. That's going to be number of sides minus 2 times 180. All right, notice what we have going on in this one. We're outside the polygon. Look at where x is. It's on the outside. Also notice it's a regular polygon where I'm looking for one angle. So that tells me I'm exterior and I'm dealing with 1, or regular, so that tells me I'm doing 360 divided by n. Okay, so that'll be your bottom right corner of your formula sheet. So let's keep looking. Look, I've got a regular polygon, so that tells me at the bottom of my formula sheet, I'm inside regular interior. Okay, so really this is going to be a mix of all the different types of polygons we might run into, so you need to keep an eye out. Am I inside? Am I outside? Is it regular or not? Okay, notice this one. I am looking for one angle, and I'm interior, but is this a regular polygon? Well, it's not. Notice how I've got different angles here, and I've got different side lengths. So even though I'm looking for one angle, it isn't regular, so I can't use my one angle formula. I would have to do my sum and then subtract these angles out. Okay, so that will get you up around 64, and I want to show you 2 specific examples when you get to 64 or beyond. So the first one is this one right here. Now, notice what's going on. I'm on the outside. It doesn't say it's regular, so I've got to use my sum. So I'm going to use 360. Okay, so I know something is equal to 360, and I know 360 is the sum of the exteriors, so I can add them up. 132 plus 2w plus 2w. Notice how I added up every single one of the angles. I added 2w in there twice because I've got 2 of them. Okay. Now, at this point, you can do one of 2 things. You can either solve by hand, okay, and we'll walk through that here in a second, or if you're used to using Desmos to solve equations like this, you could type this into Desmos. Now, if you are serious about being good at math, solving it by hand is the way to go. So let's go ahead and take a look. I've got 132 plus 4w. Notice how I've got 2w and 2w, so how many w's do I have total? I've got 4. I'm going to subtract 132 from both sides. So I get 4w is equal to, that's 228. I'm going to divide by 4. And so w is going to come out to, let's see, that looks like it's going to come out to 50, sorry, should come out to 57. All right? So, and then that would be my answer, and I would type 57 in. Now, sorry, let's get back to there. All right? So, when we're dealing with these, okay, I know that there's going to be multiple variables. So when we're dealing with them, add them up like we normally would, and then either solve it by hand, or you can use Desmos. Now let me let me switch out of this and let me show you one other one, okay? Now, some of them get really kind of, well, kind of nasty, like this one. Okay, now let's look at how do we set this up. Okay, notice I've got interior, it's not regular, it's a sum, so I've got to do n minus 2 times 180. So I've got 5, let me get my pen here, 5 minus 2 times 180. All right, so I've got 5 sides, 5 minus 2 times 180. That comes out to 540. Now I know that all of these add up to equal 540. So let's just go ahead and start adding them up. I'm going to start here. X minus 13 plus X plus 44 plus X minus 48 plus, I'm going to run out of space. I'm going to just keep going down here. 2X minus 49 plus X minus 40, I already got minus 48, I'm sorry, plus 146, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so that's a big mess, okay? And this is the ones that, like, if you're struggling with the algebra, you know, it's great to practice your algebra. It's also, so if you want to practice algebra and work on this and maybe double check using Desmos, that could be a great strategy as well. You could do it by hand and then check by typing it into Desmos and saying, okay, does this match what I've seen? So there are a couple of these tricky problems, but using the tools that you have at your disposal, those should be ones that we should be able to solve even though they are a little bit tricky, okay? As always, I don't want you to spend all of your time struggling on problems like these. If you really get to a place where you're stuck, please reach out for help rather than just spending, you know, hours and hours dealing with these types of problems. All right, so that's a review of IXL G.4, and it's a review of our interior and exterior formulas for polygons.